So it seems some commenters weren't satisfied with my thoughts on Luke from the previous video. Okay, let's see what you got. Let's see. Luke igniting his lightsaber was out of instinct and he did it unconsciously as a response to feeling the dark side. This, I have problem accepting it. Simply because I have a hard time believing that Luke Skywalker, the Jedi Knight who learned what it felt like to have his emotions take control of his judgment and went through several trials that nearly cost him his life, family, friends, and humanity to just throw away all of that and act like he learned nothing from all of this. We are not talking about a young learner. We are not talking about a recently appointed master. We are talking about a mature Luke who is supposed to be experienced enough to fully control his actions by that point. He is the teacher of the next generation of Force users, and such person of his caliber should not succumb to a beginner error such as this. Some of the comments I received comparing the situation to Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan doing the same when they were on Newt Gunray's ship, except it was not the same circumstances. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were in an enemy vessel, and they were aware that they were walking into a trap, and therefore had to stay alert to anything that may come to get them, which what ended up happening anyway. Another comment said it's no different from Anakin killing Dooku, but that was also a different situation as they were in a war and they were trying to end it by killing the enemy. Plus, Anakin was already in a gray area and didn't stick to the Jedi Code as much as the rest, and he was persuaded by the Senate and one of the people he trusted the most in his life, and he felt it was the best to kill Dooku and end all of this at once. Plus, it's not like Obi-Wan had a problem with it and went on to say Anakin is a hero. Luke, on the other hand, was this close to kill a kid who was, as far as we know, did nothing wrong, and it was in peacetime nonetheless. It doesn't matter if that was really his intent or not. The fact remains that he still snuck up to Ben's room while he was asleep, and he still held the lightsaber in his hand ready to strike Ben before he held himself together. If Luke was able to sense the force of his sister from another system, couldn't he sense Ben's mind from his own room instead of being in Ben's room? Or was the Force Wi-Fi acting up that one specific moment so he had to be that close to him? When Anakin ignited his lightsaber when he confronted Palpatine, it was a direct confrontation between the two men. But Anakin still had control over himself to not kill Palpatine before making everything clear to him. This is not how Luke handled the situation. This also makes Luke look like a paranoid fool for jumping to conclusions whenever he senses any form of darkness, and I did make several jokes about it on my Twitter if you want to check them out. And I don't know about you, but if a Jedi lights his lightsaber the instant he senses something, ready to strike it down in an instant, doesn't sound like a good Jedi. This is not the Luke that we last saw in Return of the Jedi. Which sadly brings us to this issue that I failed to bring up the last time. We don't know what exactly happened between Luke and Ben. It's been like 30 years between movies, yet we have no idea what was the relationship between the two. Things were told to us by different accounts, but we don't have a solid idea. We were told things, but we weren't shown anything. We weren't shown any scenes between Luke and Ben in their early days. We weren't shown the instances where Ben was going to the dark side in which warrants Luke's concerns. We weren't shown Snoke doing anything that led to splitting the two apart. Outside that aforementioned flashback, we got nothing else shown of their early days. And since the Star Wars canon is all over the place outside the movies, we don't have a solid backstory to how Luke has been in between movies. This isn't a case where you can find the answer in supplementary materials, because there are no supplementary materials to back this up. This isn't based on a comic or a book to know what they left out. What we get in the movie is what we get and then to be explained later. Except as far as my knowledge goes, we don't have a novel or a comic that covers this. This isn't the same canon that brought us Han and Leia's three children, Jaina, Jacen, and Anakin Solo. This isn't the same canon that brought us Luke Skywalker's wife, Mara Jane Skywalker, and their son, Ben Skywalker. Or their descendants, Nat, Cole, and Kate. We can't use that canon to justify whatever happened in this new canon. We got comics for Darth Vader, Leia, Phasma, and frickin' DJ. DJ got his own comic, but no one thought of covering the period between episodes 6 and 7 to give us something? It doesn't help that the dialogue of the movie doesn't explain much either. So Luke apologizes to Kylo Ren, but apologizes for what? Doubting him? Nearly killing him in his sleep? He just said that he failed him, but that's it. And he doesn't explain it to him or anything. He just said sorry. With all due respect, this is a case of bad writing. It's a badly written situation and a badly written concept. I'm not against writing Luke to be more complex, but this was not the way to do it. Obi-Wan was a case of a master who failed his student and best friend, yet it was still one of the most memorable aspects of the franchise and one of the rare instances where everybody would agree it was the best of the prequel trilogy. We see the prequels taking its time planting seeds, and we are shown every stage of Anakin's fall and the demise of the Jedi Order and the Republic. The sequel trilogy sadly failed by focusing on the wrong things and ignoring the things that needed more attention from the writers. So right now, Episode 9 is their chance to make things right. But until we get to see it, this is my opinion on this matter.